What's up? What's up? Hello, world. It's Lee Michaels. Carol's not here today. She's out on assignment. Playing hooky. I think she got drunk watching the debate last night. I don't know. You never know with Carol. No, she doesn't drink. She's out doing some things with her animals today. You know she's a big animal lover. And so am I. I love animals. All right, well, we survived last night's debate. Was it a comedy skit or what? I can't wait till Saturday. Saturday Night Live is going to have a field day with the third and final presidential debate. Trump was somewhat subdued in the first 15 minutes or so. But as usual, one little punch in the eye, a little dig in the belly, he gets upset and loses his cool. It's clear that his campaign people, his media experts and what have you, told him, hey, man, listen, you got to be cool. You know, don't go in there and being rambunctious and jumping all over the place and interrupting Hillary and being disrespectful to the moderator and all of that. Within 15 minutes, he lost all of those instructions. And he went back to Trumpism, being a complete fool. Complete. And, you know, he tries to make a point against Hillary, but he's not good at it. He's just not good at it. And I don't understand why he thinks that what he's doing makes sense. He's not going to win. Not because of last night, but because of what he's been doing for the last 15 or 16 months. Offending everyone. Now he's claiming the election is rigged, which is nothing more than an excuse. Because he knows it's over. There's no question in my mind that Donald Trump has zero chance of winning at this point. There are a number of red states looking purple, almost blue at this point. Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona. Arizona? Are you kidding me? They could possibly go blue? Are you kidding me? If you don't understand what that means, let me try to explain. There are red states, traditionally, and then there are states that are typically blue. And when you convert a state from red to blue or blue to red, that's a major, major change in the mindset of the voters in those states. Major change. And I think that's what we're beginning to see. If Arizona goes blue, what that means, not only it goes towards Hillary, but it also impacts on John McCain. Chances are he may lose his seat. Same thing in Nevada. And if Texas goes blue, he has a snowball chance in hell in winning. He could win Ohio. He could probably win Florida. If he loses North Carolina, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, it's a wipe. It's a done deal. And that's kind of the way it's looking. It's headed that way. I don't know. It would be nothing short of a miracle. Nothing short of a miracle for Donald Trump to win. I mean, it's going to take a miracle. He's offended the Latinos, blacks, gays, white women, even white men, but they're in denial. Last night, trying to go into a little Spanish, bad hombres, a nasty woman. Who does that? Even if that's what you felt, who does that in a national presidential debate? That's just street level stupidity and thuggery. No respect for yourself, Donald, and certainly no respect for Hillary Clinton. A rigged election is nothing more than a cover-up or excuse for what we all know is going to happen. And when they asked him the question last night, will you concede? And, what a question. Really? Who came up with that? Will you concede, like a presidential candidate should, if you should happen to lose? Well, his campaign manager has already said prior to the the debate last night, that he would. His wife has made reference to that. But it just shows you how disjointed his entire organization is. From the family to the campaign to his own twisted mindset. He just does not have it together. What's up, Chris Bass, Kevin, Neo, and others that have joined me here on Facebook Live, and the thousands that are listening to us on our webpage, thepowerofvoices.com, and thank you to the people who are listening to us on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the share button. Share this broadcast with your friends on whatever social media platform you're listening or watching the show on. I appreciate that. You can also download our app for the Android or the Apple platform. Just go to your store and download it. It's free. Absolutely free. No charge. Free forever. But what a mess here, folks. And listen, to all of those Trump supporters, people that are buying into his campaign, I say to you, dig a little deeper than just the information that he's spewing out, because he's a very shallow candidate. He knows just enough to be dangerous. And no matter how many people he has around him in his campaign, he's not following their advice. Because he's arrogant, egotistical, self-serving, and he doesn't have your best interests at heart. You may hate Hillary for a variety of reasons, but this guy is a bucket of mess. First of all, he's running as a Republican. The Republican Party are not in support of him, really. They had no choice but to get behind him because he beat up all the other weaklings. So with that being said, they are behind him, but they're not really. They really wish he would go away. They wish they could hit the delete button and eliminate him because he's a thorn in their side. So the Republican Party, you think now, if by miracle, not chance, miracle, that he wins, and let's just say the Republicans maintain control of the Senate and they maintain the control of the House, they hate this guy as much as they hate Barack Obama. What makes you think any business for you, the people, the voters, of the United States of America, what makes you think anything is going to change? It won't, because there's Mitch McConnell and his crew secretly, quietly. They're not going to be overt and out like they were with Obama. Mitch McConnell won't say, we're going to make him a one-term president. He won't say that. But in those backroom deal-making meetings, it'll be a wink, wink, nod, nod. You know what I mean? They will say no to him just like they did Obama because they don't like him. They don't want to support him. He's not one of them. So all you're going to do is trade spit, go from one side to the other, and nothing's going to change as it relates to that. What's up, Joel? Darnita? Hello, Germany. Michael Thomas, thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. And we're talking about the aftermath of the debate last night. Well, we can forget about debates now. That's all behind us. Now it's time for you, the voter, to consume the information, good, bad, or indifferent, that the candidates have put out there and follow them on the rest of the campaign trail as they're out there stumping, going from state to state, city to city. That'll be right up until the day before. And you think Trump has figured out that the election day is November 8th and not the 28th? A few days ago, that's what he was telling his supporters. Vote on November 28th. Poor fella. My granddaughters know the election date. And here's a guy that's trying to become the president of the United States and made that mistake. I was reading earlier before coming on the air today that research is showing that Donald Trump lies 4 times more than Hillary Clinton. Now, listen, Hillary's not a perfect candidate. I'll give you that. But I got to go with someone who has experience. Donald says it's bad experience. But he doesn't want to talk about his bad experiences. The 4 to 6 bankruptcies, the hundreds of people that he has not paid, maybe thousands, the 4,000 lawsuits that he's involved with. What about your bad experience, Donald? You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about your groping, your chauvinistic attitude, what you did during the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, yesterday. You don't want to talk about that. It's off limits. And do you ever notice that not only Trump, but his key people that are out stumping for him, his campaign manager, God, where did she come from? Jeebity weebity. Are these robots that are pre-programmed with, no matter what the question is, delete the question and go to your narrative? Put the spin out there. Don't answer the question. Go with the spin. Go with the pre-prescribed, rehearsed response to whatever the question is. It doesn't matter. That gives me a headache. It just drives me bananas that people do that. And then we're supposed to sit around and say it's okay. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's bovine. Don't insult the public's intelligence like that. Now, you can fool some of the people out there, but you can't fool people who have gone to school, who understand civics and the whole legal and political process. You can't fool them. But see, the Republican playbook is still programming to the uninformed. That, my friend, in 2016 is not going to work. Plain and simple. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. What's up?
Lee, what's going on, my brother? How are are you, sir?
I'm alive and kicking, just sitting here running my mouth and talking about last night's debate, putting my perspective on it.
Wrong. Wrong. Not true. Nasty man. Wrong. Hey, when she wins, she needs to come out to Janet Jackson's Nasty Girl. That's what she should watch out to.
I love that.
She ought to come out here to the nasty girl.
I like that. That's funny.
That's that quick radio. I just pulled that one out of my, you know what.
Yeah, you did. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You know what? You're still sharp.
That's where you find the promo right there, Lee. That's when you go in the stop set, right?
Yeah, let's cut that one up. Let's get that one done. We want that by tomorrow, okay?
As an old morning guy, when somebody says something like that, you're just going in the stop set, right?
Oh, no doubt. So who won the debate last night?
Well, I mean, obviously nobody had to win it. Trump had to win it. They were just regurgitating. You know what? Hillary is not a great debater. I mean, she's not. She's no Bill, of course. She doesn't have that charisma.
No.
She does like to pivot, and she doesn't. You think she's reading it off cue cards or something. I mean,
it's well rehearsed.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
She's no Bernie Sanders either. I mean, Bernie would have chewed him up and spit him out.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm listening to NPR this morning, the local one here in Charlotte. I mean, of course, all of the extrapolation of the polls, especially in the electoral vote, they've got Hillary at like an 82% chance of winning. Trump has 12%. And then it's pretty much over unless they have a picture of Hillary with a donkey somewhere. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's pretty much over. I mean,
I've been saying that for months, but we had to go through the process to get to where we are today after the last debate. But I think most minds have to be made up by now. What do you think? You think are there still undecided voters out there?
Yeah, I have a good friend, a really good friend who's as you would call it, just a Christian conservative, evangelical. He's trained to think Republican or vote Republican. He's really not. I mean, really, in talking with him, I'm like, you're one of the most liberal. But I mean, he's sitting here. They just started early voting today in North Carolina, and he's like, I just don't know what to do. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I can't vote for him. And I'm like, well.
He wants to, but he can't. He said,
I just can't vote for him. And I'm like, that's a dilemma. I mean, you can write somebody in, or he said, I may just go. I think he's more concerned about, even though he's a Republican, he wants Pat McCrory out of the governor's mansion. So I think he's like, I may just leave the president blank and just go vote for my local stuff. I'm like, well, hey,
Well, that's your choice, but I think you need to go through the entire process.
Yeah, I'm going to write somebody in for president. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I might write Bernie Sanders' name in there.
I'm. You know what? I bet there's a number of people that are going to do that.
Yeah, Bernie's a good guy. He's got passion. I also heard today they estimate or forecasting that Hillary will be upon winning the election. She will enter the White House with the lowest approval rating of any president on their first day in office.
Wow.
And that's, I never thought about that. I mean, she's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I'll make a prediction right now. I think Hillary will be our first one-term Democratic president since Jimmy Carter.
Really?
Absolutely.
You don't think she'll get in there and perform something just shy of a miracle and pull it all together and make things better?
No. I think voting changes the players. It don't change the game. And you know that.
And I hear that all the time from people, and I have friends all over the country, and we talk on the phone and email and texting and all of that. And I hear that sentiment a lot. But George, that we have to focus in on solutions. So how can we change that mindset, that whole process that we all dislike, both Republicans and Democrats? I think we're all tired of establishment politics. We want to bring change.
you have 300 slave masters governing the entire country, and they're the ones that could change it, and they're not going to change it because it's not going to benefit them. It's the people that can change it won't change it because they will have to pack up and go home.
Right.
After a certain term, after a certain length of time.
Right.
Many of them are well over their term.
Well, it's true, George, that, if we want it, we the people, term limits on the House and the Senate, that's less than what it is now. Well, there's no term limits.
No, there is no term limit.
And so, excuse me, they're not going to vote themselves out. But
absolutely not.
Can't we do the same thing without having term limits by just voting them out?
Because the mass population of voters are too ignorant to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm going to tell you something. I told you I tore up my voter registration card, and I went online and checked. I'm still registered. So, burning that card was just ceremonial. I could still go vote today if I wanted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you know what I did? I think I looked at a sample ballot. I think I'll just, because I'm with you on that term limits, and I'm just going to go vote against incumbents.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you do it.
Yeah, I mean, even if there's a Democrat and they've been in there 8 years, I'm voting against them.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta go.
Well, you know what?
Robin Harris said, we ain't gonna do it no more. I know you ain't gonna do it no more.
Gotta go. But see, what we have to do is we have to rate them, rank them, and do our due diligence and look at them in what they've done in the last 4 years, 8 years, or whatever amount of time they've been there. Have they voted in step with what you believe in? If they haven't, then vote them out.
Yeah, and see, the average voter they're not going to do the work. They're not going to. First of all, when they go in and look at a bill, they don't know what the bill entails.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like this House Bill 2 in North Carolina. Everybody's crazy about the transsexuals in the bathroom.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, that's a I mean, I've lived 46 years of my life. I've never had a problem with that ever. It's not going to affect me emotionally, intimately. I took my daughters to the mall. I stood by the door while they went in. I've never had that problem.
Exactly.
Now, what people are ignorant about is in that same bill, and I don't know if you're aware of this, in that same law that was passed, if you are discriminated against on your job, if your job says we're evening and certain hours per week, those were taken out. So now they can. There's all kind of laws that affect labor that were in that same bill, but they used that whole transsexual in the bathroom thing as a distraction.
Yeah, yeah. And see, a lot of people don't look at what's attached to various bills and what have you, because a lot of times they bury stuff like that, the fat, the pork, whatever you want to call it, to the bill, the main topic.
I don't know if I would. There's a documentary I would welcome anybody to watch. It's called The Brainwashing of My Dad. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a great movie. It's a lady whose father, she grew up in a middle class. He was a blue collar, very liberal, progressive thinker in the 60s, 70s. And then Fox News, totally, he's turned into an idiot. And this guy that I had in the car today is very similar to that. He was this guy, and he was an old hippie at one time, cool guy.
Right.
We're coming back down the highway, and he says, I'm just worried if they get the Senate in, they're going to start messing with the churches. I'm like, they take my guns. I'm like, first of all, they don't want your pistol. The pistol that your grandfather left you, they don't want that. They don't want you to have a shoulder-mounted missile grenade launcher.
That's right.
And they don't want you to have a machine gun that shoots 1,000 rounds a minute.
Yeah, right.
The Constitution, when it was written, all we had were muskets. I mean,
exactly.
Really, the way the Constitution is written, I should have the right to have a nuclear warhead in my backyard.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, because there's no language in there. There was no top or cap on it. And the same thing with the First Amendment. Think about that. Okay, what we're doing right now on the internet, there be nobody in their minds when they wrote the First Amendment knew about anything beyond a newspaper, really. I'm not sure that they even...
Franklin had Poor Richard's Journal or whatever. I mean, he didn't have TV or radio.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a newspaper. That was the only thing that they knew. Or some guy standing on the top of a basket, stumping on the street corner. But that was
Correct.
about it. I'm not even sure that we have the telegraph during that time.
No, we didn't have. No, there was no telegraph. Maybe
So,
the Pony Express. I'm not sure, but
so
there
I
was no
mean,
telegraph.
how could you see beyond that? So, and I've said that repeatedly as it relates to how things have advanced and the technology that we have today. It's just a
Yeah.
whole different world than when those laws were written. And I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm not saying that at all. But they certainly should be modified and adjusted according to the
Absolutely.
changes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
You know,
then and then the people that are out there, saying, they're going to take my guns away. Well, I have not heard a candidate, at least in my lifetime, say they want to take away, delete, eliminate the Second Amendment. Hillary
no,
Clinton is not saying that. Barack
no.
Obama didn't say that. And presidents prior to didn't say that.
Well,
So
but you're exactly right, and they're not. But this is coming from right wing foolishness. I mean,
exactly.
you even got people like Pat Robertson and Seven Club are scaring the shit out of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this guy is a victim of that. You know, he went on to say, well, I said they don't even care about churches. There's separation of church and state.
Exactly.
And then he says, well, what about that flower shop in Oregon or wherever that didn't sell flowers to those people because they were gay? Well, that was wrong.
Yeah.
He could have said, I'm not selling you flowers, but the minute he said, I'm not selling you flowers because you're gay,
Right.
he broke the law.
Exactly.
And he said, well, he has the right to do that. I said, no, he doesn't. So what, we got Jim Crow for homosexuals now?
Exactly.
I mean, what is that? You can't do that. You can't discriminate against anybody.
Well, you know
because
what, George, the bottom line is real simple. As my dad used to say, son, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. And the
Yeah.
people who are fearful have listened to the fear mongering that a number of the candidates, both Democrats and Republicans, have put out there scaring people and just give them the tip of the iceberg, just a couple of little key words to scare the bejesus out of them. And that's what they run on. And it's
Did you hear
unfortunate.
the audience laugh last night when Trump said, nobody respects women more than I do?
Yeah, right. That's another bumper right there.
Oh, my God. I'm like, really, dude?
Yeah, he's comical at the best. That's the best thing about him. He can make you laugh.
Yeah, and
Keep you from
Saturday Night Live must love him to death.
Ooh, Lord. They're going to have a field day this weekend.
But you know what I think one of the most things that troubled me last night was they spent a lot of time again on Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, we've had Republican House and Senate. Reagan didn't do it. Bush didn't do it. But George H.W. Bush, don't they realize they're not going to do anything with that?
No.
But bringing that up as a political posturing, I
Yep.
mean, you're not going to do anything with it. So why do you talk about it, and why are you wasting our time with it? It's been on the books for 40-some years now.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to overturn it. You had Republican presidents that had the House and the Senate. They didn't even bat an eye. They didn't even look at it.
No, because they know that there are limits and places they should not go to as well. And I think they're smart enough for that.
But why bring it up in a debate? It's a waste of
really
that
is.
hour and a half.
It is.
It's insulting to anybody who it's like, you guys aren't going to do it. That's not a priority.
Right.
That's not a priority. It's not affecting me. It's not affecting me at all. I have it now. I'll tell you what. I have a problem with late term. I have a huge problem. I think there's a responsibility, and I think the woman should be responsible. And when you first realize you're pregnant, you need to address that immediately. You don't wait till you're 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and because I've seen 6-month-old premature babies live.
That's right.
So I mean, you can't just sit and be lazy and then commit murder because you were lazy.
Yeah. And my position on all of that is very simple. It's a woman's choice as to what she wants to do. I mean, I can't.
Once she's 6 months pregnant, it's no longer her choice.
Well, that's true. I think at that point, you're exercising poor judgment, and I think you got to rock and roll at that
very
point.
liberal. I believe it's her choice. There's a responsibility that comes with that. It was your choice to put a condom on that thing before you went up in there. But I mean, I'm just saying you can't be. What's the word I'm looking for? You can't be irresponsible and
Right.
then turn around and commit murder because you're irresponsible. I mean, there are people lined up waiting to adopt children.
Yeah, that's true.
People
That's true.
Children.
Not enough, but there are people who are willing to give the love and care that a young person should have to survive in
When
this
I was
world.
a teenager, one of my best friends had gotten his girlfriend pregnant, and they waited. She hid it and waited too long, and we had to drive all the way to the coast of North Carolina to a town called Jacksonville, and she had to have a late-term abortion, and it was traumatic for her. It scarred her, and it was a quiet ride home, and I just have a problem with that. I think there's a line of responsibility, and once you cross that line, oh well, you waited too long. We just can't do that now.
Right.
We can take the baby, someone can adopt him, but you just can't do that.
Yeah.
At this point, I believe that once there's a heartbeat, and if the baby could live outside the womb, we can't kill it inside the womb.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. You're in North Carolina now. We've been getting polls and reports that North Carolina is leaning towards Hillary. Do you see that in your surrounding? You're in what, Charlotte?
Yeah, exactly. And they said she has about as much of a lead when you're looking at the margin of error. She's at the same level that Obama was against McCain in 2008, and it did go blue in 2008.
It sure did.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. I think I would be willing to bet she'll get North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
What about Georgia? Georgia's looking kind of bluish, they say.
Yeah, it's kind of pink. It's not quite blue yet.
Not purple yet?
Yeah.
No purple rain there, huh?
It's pink. They do have the Pride Parade there every year, too, so it's kind of pink.
Yeah. Boom, boom. You silly.
I don't know why they took the whole rainbow. Well, like pink wasn't enough. Why y'all have to take the whole rainbow?
Stop
what does that have to do? What does the rainbow have to do with fellatio anyway? It's not like it's magically delicious. I mean,
no. What about Arizona?
I haven't followed Arizona. I don't know.
They're saying it's a very close thing there as well as let's see, it's Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas. What about Texas?
Oh wow, I don't know. Now Texas, I haven't.
Yeah.
I thought Texas was red. Are they leaning?
It's almost purple at this point.
You know who's leading in Hawaii right now?
Who?
Jill Stein.
Get out.
Yeah.
Well, a couple $1,000 in advertising in Hawaii will probably get you a long way.
Well, they smoke weed out there too. So. They don't, but,
and also saw that the state of Alaska is leaning towards Hillary.
Well, whoever sends them their oil check every year, that's all they care about out there. As long as they get that big oil check,
yeah, right.
That's all they really care about.
Oh my goodness!
The whole state of Alaska has the population of the city of Charlotte. So
right.
The governor's really just the mayor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny. Well, we got another caller here. Maybe let's bring them in here and see if they can be a part of the conversation. Who do we have on the line? Well, they're gone.
They're gone. I talked too long.
That's all right. It's a talk show. We're supposed to talk. I mean, we don't have commercial breaks like other terrestrial radio stations that are 9 damn minutes long. You
You should sell some sponsorships.
I don't want them.
This hour of the talk show is brought to you by
George.
something. No.
Who do we have on the line?
Well, let me say this. I think the Lee and George show should go on the road.
Boom, boom, boom. That sounds like Chris Bass out of Chicago.
Gentlemen, I'm listening to the conversation. I'm enjoying it, and I'm telling you, whatever you guys are going to play next, let me know so I can get tickets for the front row.
You think we got a little something going on here, huh?
Oh, please. It's already done. Just get on the road and do it.
You mean they're not blowing taps on us yet?
No. Not yet, no.
Not yet. Well, George always brings a very engaging point of view. It's factual and comical, as well as you, Chris. You guys are
Oh, well, thank you.
cut from the same cloth.
Oh, well, I feel sorry for him already.
Yeah, right. I got too many radio buddies. I see Ray Harris out there. Hey, Ray, what's up? And Shannon down in Texas. Now, Shannon is in the Houston area. Shannon, are you and all your friends going to get out and vote for Hillary, or are you going for Trump? I think I know the answer to that, but I'm just checking. I'm just checking. I've got family down there. I got 6 ex-wives and some a daughter and grandgirls down there, granddaughters. And so I tell them all, yeah, hey, look, you got to get out there and vote. Let's turn Texas blue. Let's make some history.
Yeah. This hour of the Lee Michael Show is brought to you by the Humane Society, where we grab them by the pussy.
Shaven or unshaven? We'll take both.
But his wife was shaven in that picture I saw.
Yes, like she was, very much so. Close shave.
Yeah.
Woo!
Very
Boy,
close.
now Pat Robertson, Pat Robertson lost his mind when Michelle had a shirt, a dress with no sleeves on it.
Yeah, right.
And then when they had these lesbian porn pictures of Trump's wife, oh, well, that's art.
That's art.
It's like
Looks
the
beautiful to
paintings in
me.
the Sistine Chapel. It's like the same paintings in the Sistine Chapel. No, bro, that's not the same.
Not even
Not the
close.
same.
I mean,
It's funny how
but Pat Robertson has not had pussy since 1967.
Well, that's true.
You know,
it's kind of like a consultant. They had sex in 20 years, and they tell you how to make love to your wife.
I have nothing to do with this show at all.
And Lee was a consultant, so that was an inside joke. Tony Gray would come to our station. I'm like, you haven't had pussy in 20 years. How are you going to tell me how to do it? You know? I love Tony. Tony's a living legend. God bless him.
But you know what? Speaking of Tony Gray, that's the cheapest guy I know in the radio business.
Oh, Lord Jesus, you know him well.
I've been to dinner with this guy 10 times, and he's never
Lee.
picked up a check.
Okay, brother. I'll be at the airport at 3 o'clock, brother. Hold on. You going to the ATM? Go ahead and take $300 out, and I'll write you a check. Tony,
He is the Jack Benny of radio. He's so cheap. It's unbelievable.
Okay, brother. It's Tony. All right. Okay.
I love him. He's a good guy.
Does he actually call people brother? He's like a bad imitation of Hulk Hogan.
Okay, brother. Tony.
Oh, my God.
Hey, one time I was picking him up in Charlotte at the airport, and I was doing a circle at the baggage claim, and I had a programmer, a friend of mine, Todd Haygood. I said, Todd, run in and grab him, and I'm just going to do a circle. So he's like, well, I don't know what he looks like. I'm like, you'll just see a little black man that looks like Jiminy Cricket, and when you see him, and Todd came back to the car, he's like, yo, you wasn't lying. I saw him walking down. Oh, that's my brother, though. I love him.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
Jiminy Cricket with the little hat on. He pulls his pants up. He pulls his pants up like Urkel.
And the little hat. He's got to have the hat on, right?
Oh, hell.
Yeah,
We have characters in the broadcast business.
He got
Oh, my God.
He got a Lamborghini in his garage, though, now.
God. Yeah, now I'm telling you, Tony Gray is probably wealthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I understand he
he's a
invested in Snapple when it first came out, and it blew up, and so he made money from Snapple and every radio station in America. Even if he's not consulting, he has them on his list.
He's consulting. Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Because Tony will get in a market where I know somebody. Hey, Apollo, it's Tony. I'm here with Jay Alexander. Just wanted to call and say hello. I'm like, okay, Tony, you're working. We love you. You got to get Mike Love on the phone to do his Tony Gray impersonation.
I know.
Ooh.
Too funny. You guys are killing me. I got tears rolling down my cheeks.
Roast Tony. We should have roasted him at the Living Legend. That would have been great.
Oh yeah. You know what? I got so busy here, I forgot, and I didn't go to the awards thing or the picnic, and I'm feeling bad about that because I really intended on being in the house like a child on punishment.
Hey, Kathy Hughes had. You saw Kathy had the at Howard University. They put this Kathy Hughes School of Communications in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to call and congratulate her on that.
You know how I met Kathy Hughes?
How?
I was working for her in D.C. I was their production director in the 90s at KYS when they were on Nebraska Avenue over there at the NBC building.
Mm-hmm.
And I would work late. We had 3 stations, and it was a Friday night, and I had been in there cutting promos. And this lady I was sitting at my desk, kind of my feet up, and this lady walked down the hall. And then she moonwalked back, like, and looked in the window. And then she came in. She said, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Yeah, can I help you?" "Yeah, take your feet off my furniture, please." I said, "Who is that bitch?" She was like, "No, that's Miss Hughes." I'm like, "Kathy? No, don't call her
Kathy. No, hell no, no, hell no.
But see, it was hard for me because Jerry Bledsoe had already told me stories, so
Oh God.
I don't want to go into that on here, but I'm like, oh man, Kathy, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that was her.
Dewey was up there this week, and they had pictures of him. So one of my friends, I said, there would be no Radio 1 without Dewey Hughes.
Right. No question. He was a
As
cornerstone back in the day.
used to say, boy, my grandmother used to say, a wet pussy and a dry purse don't match. So, I mean, I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad
Wait a
at
minute, George, are you on the? Damn.
I'm sorry. Hey, we on the internet.
But yeah, where do you get this stuff from?
By the ASPCA.
Roshan Vance, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Yeah, Tony's everybody's guy. Tony Gray is like
DJ in the Carolinas. Roshan Vance, the ugliest DJ in the Carolinas.
no, he was the ugliest DJ in the world.
That was his motto back
I know.
in the
Yeah.
late 80s.
Yeah.
We had across the street, we had Tim Green, one of America's sexiest DJs, according to Playgirl magazine. And Roshan just became the ugliest DJ.
Yeah. Edna, my girl Edna, out there in Las Vegas. Right, they lit up your town last night, girl. Did you go?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was a spectacle to say the least. I'm sorry, say again?
I said I've been voicing a station out there, KCEP, for 17 years.
What's that, 88.1?
Yep, Power 88.
Yep.
The People Station.
The People Station. That's you on there, huh?
Yeah, I've been doing their voice since 2001.
Okay, I didn't realize
very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
You need to let me cut you some bumpers, Lee, for your show, and
Well, cut them up.
it'll be.
Do it.
Well, I don't know what to say.
And listen, you got the imaginations. Let it rip. You know.
I got you. Is your email address on your profile?
Probably, yeah. It's iradiocoach@gmail.com.
iRadio, like the letter I?
Yes, sir. Radio Coach.
iRadio Coach. I'll knock some out for you and get them to you.
Okay.
It'll be my pleasure.
Yeah, make it funky and spicy. Don't be scared.
Put some dookie stick in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I got to bounce. It's been great talking about. Who's the gentleman on the phone with us?
That's Chris Bass.
Chris Bass.
Bass man.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you
Yes.
Rob's brother?
No. He got sued, so fuck him. I'm sorry.
It takes two.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so no relation, no.
You have a great rest of the Obama's going to be on air today. He's on the air right now on Old School 105.3 here in Charlotte.
Oh, really?
You probably get out the vote. He's getting people to go out and vote.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing to do right now.
So
Vote.
who runs in 2020? Does Michelle run in 2020?
Wouldn't be surprised.
And then we get Chelsea in 2024.
Yep.
And then
Rotate.
And then Malia, Sasha or Malia ought to be old enough by then, I guess.
The family rotation.
There you
Who
go,
was
the
the oldest
trade-off.
one? The oldest one? I can't remember the oldest daughter.
Shasha?
Was it Malia?
Malia or Shasha?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm confused.
The oldest one, they're both beautiful children.
I know who won the Revolutionary War, but I'm not sure about. See, I was there.
You had a cell phone number, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, Lee's old. He got a pair of Air Jesus tennis shoes in his closet. You walk on water with them things.
You know what? You're funny. You're real funny.
Oh,
You got
hell.
jokes. I love it though.
Y'all have a great rest of the day, man.
All right, man.
You too.
It won't be the same without you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell.
I'll be checking in periodically. brother.
Okay, partner. Thank you, George.
All right, man. Yes, sir.
Take care of it. Oh, man. Good night.
George is a mess,
Ooh-wee.
huh?
Well, you know what? I mean, and in all seriousness, this is why I love our business. I really do, man. I think we've met, especially you know, some unique characters over time, man.
That's all.
It's just-
I only know characters. That's it.
Exactly. It's special. It's special, Ed, but it's special nonetheless, you know, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed,
Yeah,
if you're still in
man.
the room, call in 424-227-9461. Don't be shy. 424-227-9461. I need a female perspective in here. It's too much. Too
Too many hard legs.
Yeah, too much up in there. I can't handle it. I need some tenderness. Try a
Oh,
little
man.
tenderness.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit. You know, well, Come Over Man didn't disappoint.
Come over.
You know, he did what he's supposed to do, and like I told you yesterday, you notice the first 15 minutes he's good.
Yeah, he was
He's
laid
very
back.
calm.
Yep.
He's laid back.
Yep.
But once that 15-minute period is over with, he's off to the races.
Yeah, the Novocaine wore off, and he just went ballistic. See, anytime they jab him, either from the question or the response from Hillary, he loses his cool. And I bet they told him 25,000 times, be cool. Don't interrupt her. Don't cut her off.
Right.
Pay attention to your timing. He can't do it. He can't do it.
All out the window.
Now, imagine this guy being the president. He's sitting in the Oval Office trying to make some decisions, and he's going to have rush to judgment, and some crazy is going to spew out of his mouth. And that's what,
Absolutely.
that's one of my biggest fears about the guy. The other fear or fact, not just fear, the fact that he's just stupid. He's a surface kind of guy. He does not know and understand how government works. He thinks he can run the government just like he ran his businesses into the ground. You can't do that, dude.
No, you can't. No, it's two different approaches, two different mediums. Now, if you
Totally.
want to run your businesses into the ground, all right, go right ahead. You've been there, done that. We're talking about a country, a diplomatic positioning.
Right.
None of that is out the window. I mean, for him, it's gone. As a matter of fact,
Totally.
if you notice the mantra that he had in a debate, with any question that was thrown to him by Chris Wallace, it was always Clinton, Obama, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three go-to points. For example, when you say stuff like, she gave us ISIS, are you out of what's left of your mind?
See, but those are the
is.
kind of things that those statements pander to the uninformed voter.
Yes, absolutely.
It's great soundbite,
Right.
but it has no real value or substance to it. But if you don't know, if you don't read, if you got an IQ 2 points below plant life, bing, that rings a bell to you.
Yeah.
So the educated voter can decipher and separate the real deal from the bovine. And that's what's happening. And that's why he's behind, because he's pandering and using fear tactics and pandering to the lowest level that you can possibly use to uninformed voters. And it wouldn't surprise me, man, that this turned into being a landslide. At first, I was saying it's going to be close. I'm losing that sense that it might be close at this point.
Well, like you said earlier in the conversation, I love it how his supporters or ne'er-do-wells do these talking head programs and still stick up for this man. They should get an Emmy.
But let me tell you something. The payroll must be very high on that.
It must be nice.
Nice, real nice.
It must be nice with a 401k plan because They go all out. Like, for example, like the statement is all hashtag now about such a nasty woman.
Yeah.
So here are women who support him come forward and, well, what he meant to say was, and once again, I love it how they separate themselves
Yeah.
from these issues. Now, you call Hillary Clinton a nasty woman. Doesn't refer to me, even though I'm
Right.
the same gender. She's nasty. I'm not.
Exactly.
When you grab them by the pussy, that they deserve that, not me.
Right.
No empathy, no trying to bomb with somebody from the standpoint of he's insulted your gender. No. They deserve it, not me.
Man, you know what? If my mother was still alive right now, she was sitting there watching the TV, and
Yes.
if she saw these reports coming out on this guy, she would look at me and say, "What's wrong with that man?" I can hear my mother's voice. Right?
Yes.
What did he say?
Right.
What's wrong with that man?
Oh, my God.
So, Mama, I hear you from heaven, and I'm
Yeah.
listening to you, and I'm saying the same damn thing. What's wrong with this man? And more importantly, what's wrong with the people that think that this guy has a clue or that he has the ability to do anything? I don't understand that. I really,
You know what?
really don't.
It's funny how art imitates life or vice versa. Back in the day, Eddie Murphy did a movie called The Distinguished Gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
and he was running for a Congress seat. And he had taken the name Jeff Johnson, the name you know. And James Gardner played the Jeff Johnson that was in Congress. He dies. He takes over the name and does not make an appearance until he actually wins.
Right.
Because his middle name was Jefferson, made it Jeff Johnson, and started to do the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
All he said in his victory speech to be reelected for Congress was sound bites of historical moments, like "read my lips,"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
read my lips, live free or die. What ask not to do for your country do for you, and that's exactly what Trump has done.
Yeah.
It's all sound bites.
Not half as crafty. It's just
No.
nasty, mean-spirited nonsense.
Of course.
I don't get it. So let me ask you a couple questions here, because
Yes, sir.
you're astute. You pay attention, and you're looking at the big picture. North Carolina, who's going to win it?
I'm going to say Hillary.
Okay.
And
Ohio.
the reason Ohio.
Go ahead. Give me give me the reason.
The reason why is because we're seeing in droves where Arizona or other states
Mm-hmm.
that have large conservative tradition are going by the way of Hillary because we said earlier in the conversation, they do not want this man to be associated with them. And the only way they're going to do it is by going to the election and say, no, what, we're not going to vote for him. And come out publicly, and they've done that. Especially in Arizona, you're looking at a traditional state. They have not voted Democrats in 1976.
Right.
And they're talking about putting it all in with Hillary Clinton. The Bushes, of all people, are saying we don't want anything to do with this man because, as a matter of fact, Florida, he needs votes in that key swing state to get to 270. Now,
Right.
you see what he's done with Jeb and the family. So they're going to cock block that. He will not get anything out of Florida.
Right.
Nothing at all. So all the vile things he's done, verbally and beyond, will come back to bite him, and he knows that. I think he's crazy like a fox to a degree, maybe a fox that probably needs psychiatric help, but from the fox standpoint of he knows the end is near.
Yeah.
And you mentioned before about, yes, I'm sorry, go you ahead.
Do you really think that he has come to that realization? Do you think he's saying, yeah, stick a fork in it, it's done? Or do you think that he is so delusional that he thinks he has a shot still?
I will go along with the delusional part, but I stick by what I said, and we had a conversation before in your show yesterday, Lee, about this whole thing about Trump TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what happens, say, for example, once again, we're looking at the polls, Hillary will look like she'll be the next president and the first female Madam President. So
Right.
having said that, he'll walk away with a fan base for Trump TV.
Well, true. And I think,
And what he'll-
but
yeah.
how much value? Okay, let's say he gets 20 million votes.
Okay.
Okay, now
Yeah.
20 million brainwashed voters.
Right.
Will they stick and stay? And what type of programming will he be able to muster to make that work? To overturn Fox. Now, Roger Ailes is out.
Right.
I don't know what his non-compete clause is as it relates to being able to do something else. But, and then I'm hearing rumors that Sean Hannity may be walking.
Mhm.
So if Sean goes over to the Trump cable network, whatever it's going to be called, we don't know.
Right.
But if he goes over, okay, so he's got one staple.
Mhm.
But who else can he put on there that's really going to be earth-shattering?
Well, that would take a recruitment of players. I mean, you can rehash the Fox people. I know Greta Van Suster's not working. You get her over there. You got Hannity. Hannity probably your staple. I don't know if they do radio because that could be Rush Limbaugh's retirement home. If they start to go into radio as well in some capacity.
Right.
So what I'm looking at is Roger Ailes, even though it's been reported that him and Trump has fallen out, I think it's a smokescreen. I think he'll align himself with Roger Ailes. They'll go over and create this thing, and it will be programming to the left, to the right of Genghis Khan. And it will be all the way to the extremists that we've seen in the public eye or seen online.
Right.
Will be catered to those people. Because, see, now you have a fraction breakup of the Republican Party. So you have those who are traditional extremists, the Tea Party people, and people who are undecided.
Right.
So you take that group of people and you put them as the foundation for your audience for Trump TV.
I don't know. First of all, who would invest in it? Okay, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I have a
Right.
friend who has a connection with a New York bank, and apparently Trump and his cronies have gone to this bank, and they were trying to put together $20 million to launch this network. Well, first of all, $20 million is not enough. Maybe that's
No,
all they
right.
needed from that bank or so. I don't know. But
Right.
the bank turned them down. So, getting the funding, because he does not have the cash flow that he wants us to believe. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think his liquidity, the amount of cash that he has, is not $1 billion. And I think probably in the $10 to $15 million range, his personal cash flow wealth is probably more realistic, maybe. So, who's going to pay for this thing? How you going to? You got to launch this thing, and television to produce 24 hours a day, cable or otherwise, is very expensive. The equipment, the manpower, the know-how, and then you get to the personalities, the air staff. To get a Sean Hannity to come over, you're talking not just, $500,000 or $1 million. You're talking about probably $10, $15 million or more.
Yeah.
So when you staff up a network that's going to be powerful to be able to hit the ball out of the park every time, your overhead for staffing is going to be $100 million.
Unless you merge with an existing TV network. Like, for example, there's RFD that's on. I don't know when I was watching it, only because of the fact that they had brought over Don Imus for a morning show over there.
Yeah, right.
And they are straight conservative audience base. Unless you merge with an existing TV station, and then whatever the deal you cut behind the scenes to get that programming on, then you save money in that way, and then you still able to get your message in some way, shape, or form or capacity.
Well, yeah, maybe. And that depends on what their technical capabilities are.
Right.
For example, TV One, I know that they don't have the same type of facilities and capabilities that a
Hello?
CNN or, a Fox or
Oh.
anything like that. They don't have the infrastructure for that. So it would still be some ramping up. A lot of the programming that we see on these networks are pre-recorded and, very little live programming. So to do live television
Hello?
is expensive. What's the matter? You can't hear me, man? What's the matter, you? Open your ears. Must be that Walmart phone he's on, huh?